They say, experience is what you get when you don't read the fine print. Today, I got schooled.
The North Sea is finally calm, but don't let that fool you. Captain Josh is making a run north, and while the water is flat, the navigation is about to get tricky. This is an American who waited 15 years to buy his dream boat, the Dutch-built Elling E4 that he named Z Otter, or Sea Otter in Dutch. He raised his kids, took a break from work, and now he's stepped far outside his comfort zone to explore the world. In this episode, Josh is heading straight for a harbor entrance that the guidebooks call unforgiving. The window to enter is tight, and the penalty for missing it is severe. But his biggest problem isn't the tide, it's that he hasn't done his research. He is about to sail into a place of legends, and he has absolutely no idea what is waiting for him on those cliffs. This video is under 10 minutes, and it took over 27 hours to assemble. The channel is still growing, so every single view truly matters. Please watch to the end. Hit like if you enjoyed it, share it if you loved it, and if it wasn't worth your time, a thumbs down is okay too. Your feedback helps him make each episode better. Enjoy the journey.
With the engine room checks complete and the power cord removed, we slipped our lines at 7:07 a.m. We had a 72 nautical mile passage ahead of us, which translates to about a 9-hour day. Conditions were favorable, a far cry from the roughest seas my crew and I have ever been in on a boat this size just 2 days prior. Click on the screen to watch that video if you'd like. There was a gentle swell in the North Sea, light winds and overcast skies. It felt great to be underway in calm conditions. It's so much more relaxing. Moving about the cabin is much easier. You can do engine checks, make meals, and use the head without any concerns. Soon after we departed Grimsby, the coastline started to change. We were entering another realm. The earth rises straight up from the ocean, jagged rock-faced cliffs topped with lush green pastures. That's when I got that first hit of wow. You can tell we're heading in the right direction, Scotland, the rugged northern part of the UK. We were not going all the way around. I have nothing to prove and everything to lose. This trip is about making it to the fabled Loch Ness. It was less than a year ago that I realized Loch Ness was located in the Caledonian Canal. The canal is man-made and spans 60 nautical miles, running east and west from the North Sea to the Irish Sea. It's a great shortcut and used by commercial vessels, charter boats, and private boats alike. On the Irish seaside, there's a series of 8 lochs called Neptune's Staircase, completed in 1822. Loch Ness and Neptune's Staircase were the inspiration for my journey around the UK. Along the way, we came across an area with rock formations that resembled caves, carved by centuries of erosion. The visuals and my words just don't do justice to the feeling. It's like being unplugged, but you're not alone. There are other boats in the distance, just fewer of them. Check out those ruins, definitely worthy of some research. This trip is turning into a real-time history lesson. Maybe you already know what this ruin is, but my mind is blown. I knew we were on final approach, but it hadn't really occurred to me that we were approaching such an interesting place. And now, we are heading into a harbor with strong warnings. You need to arrive at a certain time, or else. The guidebooks all warn the same thing. This entrance is narrow, tidal, and unforgiving. At low water, a bar forms across the mouth. When the ebb tide runs, the current accelerates through the gap with real force. Add an easterly swell, and it pushes you straight toward the stone piers. The safe window is tight, miss it, and the harbor is effectively closed. Fortunately, it's fairly calm today, but still, it sounds intimidating. I line up my approach and make my way between the harbor walls. The Elling holds her line. We punch through the gap and make it in without any issues. Thank dog. We made it. Not only do the ruins impress me, the entire place does. Where do we just land? I was expecting some small port. Instead, it turns out to be a busy fishing village with hundreds of tourists walking around. Our slip is on the other side of the lifting bridge. While we wait, we're taking in all the sights. This feels like quite a surprise, a fine reward for insufficient research. We landed in a tourist hotspot in England. What makes it so popular, though? First, we take Sea Otter to our slip, take care of our fees, do a bit of research, and then we can start exploring. I'm starting to see that I'm not simply walking on cobblestones. I'm walking across centuries of turmoil. Even the name has a story. Whitby sounds harmless enough, but it comes from Old Norse. The legacy of Vikings who came in 870 AD, destroyed the monastery, and left behind the name White Settlement. I'm also learning something else that surprised me. You've probably heard the name Captain James Cook, but maybe not the full story. He was one of history's greatest navigators and explorers, the man who charted New Zealand, the east coast of Australia, and huge sections of the Pacific with a level of accuracy unheard of in the 1700s. And he started here. Cook didn't just sail from Whitby, he learned to sail in Whitby. His ship, the Endeavour, wasn't a glamorous vessel. It was a Whitby cat, a wide, flat-bottomed coal hauler designed to survive rough groundings along the English coast. That ordinary design ended up saving Cook's life when he struck the Great Barrier Reef. The hull held together long enough for the crew to make repairs. So, this little fishing village didn't just launch one of the world's greatest explorers, it played a role in keeping him alive long enough to make history. I'm learning that these are the Abbey ruins. The Abbey was first erected in 657 AD, founded by King Oswy and led by St. Hild as a major monastic center. It stood for centuries until the Vikings swept through and destroyed it. The monks rebuilt in the 11th century, and the Gothic structure we recognize today rose in the 1200s. It survived nearly everything time threw at it. But its final blow didn't come from age. In 1914, German battlecruisers shelled the coast, overshot the Coast Guard station, and struck the Abbey instead. What you see now isn't just medieval stonework collapsing under time, it's 1,000 years of history marked by invasion, rebuilding, and modern war. Whitby is as much of a tourist destination as it is a working fishing haven. Pots stacked on the quay, the marina packed with sunken boats, new boats, and old boats. There are pubs, and yes, a Wendy's and a Domino's. My beloved crew are vegetarian, so I may have dipped out for some hot wings, a fine choice when you're on a low-carb diet. Someone more sophisticated than myself might have gone for fresh fish at one of the many restaurants. I just wanted a quick bite before exploring more. Speaking of a quick bite, Whitby's most famous story isn't about an explorer, it's about a vampire. In Bram Stoker's novel, Dracula didn't come ashore in London like people assume. He crashed his ship, the Demeter, right here on Whitby's beach during a violent storm. The book describes him leaping from the wreck as a huge black dog and sprinting up these exact 199 steps to the graveyard above town. Standing here, looking at the old headstones tilting toward the gray sky, you don't need much imagination. It's eerie, it's cinematic, and it feels like you're standing inside the pages of the novel. Whitby is full of stories, explorers, monks, invaders, and even monsters, all layered into one small, dramatic piece of coastline. Unfortunately, we need to leave in the morning. My crew needs to depart in a couple of weeks, and I need to make it through to the other side of the canal before they take off. There's no way I'm taking Sea Otter down Neptune's staircase solo. We need to take advantage of each good travel day. Now I have to plan the next leg. Berwick upon Tweed. It sounds like a funny name, but boating here is far more technical than anything I've ever done. Most of my boating experience is from Seattle, Lake Union, Lake Washington, and Puget Sound. We don't have to worry about timing and tides like you do in the UK. Berwick upon Tweed is a river entrance that punishes bad timing. The breakwater guides you in, but the real fight is the River Tweed itself. Strong tidal flow rips through the mouth, turning the channel into a fast, narrow chute. Miss the window, and it becomes a turbulent, shallow mess that can shove you sideways and leave you out of water. I can hardly wait. Episode 6 launches next Saturday morning. Thank you for joining this leg of the journey. Hope to see you next week as we explore the UK, port to port.